Hello, I am Dr. K. Paul Stoller. Florida just took another major step toward eliminating vaccine mandates for children. And almost everyone is talking about the same thing, parental rights. Florida Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo puts the question this way: who is the government to tell you what you must put into your child's body? It's a legitimate question. But I think we're arguing about the wrong thing. Because there's another question that should come before parental rights. And it's the question nobody seems very eager to ask: where is the evidence? I'm a physician. In fact, I was board certified in pediatrics for over 2 decades. And there's an enormous difference between saying, I recommend this medical intervention, and saying, your child must receive this medical intervention. Those two statements should require different standards of evidence. If I recommend something to my patient, we can discuss benefits, risks, uncertainties, and alternatives. That's medicine. But when government mandates a medical intervention for millions of healthy children, government has assumed an entirely different burden. It isn't enough to say, trust us. It's safe and effective. Show me.
Show me the pivotal safety trials for every mandated vaccine. How many children were studied? What was the comparator? Was it saline or another truly inert substance? Or was it another vaccine or an active formulation? How long were those children followed? What outcomes were actively sought? What adverse events occurred? Where is the prospective safety trial of the childhood schedule as a schedule?
Not one vaccine, not 2 vaccines. The cumulative schedule children actually receive. Because studying individual components doesn't automatically answer every question about the system they're ultimately used within. And here's something the public needs to understand. No pre-licensure clinical trial can discover every possible adverse effect. Some problems are too rare. Some take too long to emerge. That's why we have post-marketing surveillance. FDA itself describes VAERS as an early warning system capable of identifying adverse event signals that weren't detected before licensure. Think about what that means. But also think about VAERS only reporting 1% of the actual adverse events. Now, some safety information inevitably becomes available only after widespread use begins. That's not inherently scandalous. That's pharmacology. But it creates an enormous ethical obligation. Tell people what we know. Tell them what we don't know. And don't pretend those are the same thing.
Because if important safety questions remain unresolved, the public deserves to know that. Don't tell parents the science is settled. Tell them, here's what was studied, here's what wasn't, here's how long subjects were followed, here's what happened, here's what we're still monitoring. That's informed consent. And if government intends to compel the intervention, then the standard should be higher still. Now add another uncomfortable fact. For covered childhood vaccines, manufacturers operate under an extraordinary federal liability structure. Vaccine injuries are generally routed through the National Vaccine Injury Compensation Program rather than ordinary product liability litigation. Whatever you think about why Congress created that system, ask the obvious economic question. What happens to product safety incentives when ordinary liability pressure is substantially reduced? I'm not saying manufacturers have no incentive to make safer products. I'm saying that when government mandates a product and its manufacturer receives unusual protection from ordinary liability, transparency becomes even more important. Because the person ultimately assuming the biological risk is the child. And this is where I think Florida's argument doesn't go far enough. Yes, parental autonomy matters. Yes, bodily autonomy matters. Yes, government power matters. But suppose we put all of that aside for a moment. There remains another question. Has government earned the evidentiary authority to compel the intervention in the first place? That's a completely different argument. Here's the principle I want people to remember. The stronger the coercion, the stronger the evidence must be. If you're going to recommend something, show me reasonable evidence of benefit versus risk. If you're going to mandate it for millions of healthy children. The Hep B vaccine was tested on 147 children, none of whom were babies, and the safety trials lasted less than a week. And yet, based on that, it was recommended for all babies. Where was the extraordinary evidence? The appropriate controls? Show me adequate follow-up. Show me cumulative exposure data. Show me the adverse event data. Show me the post-marketing signals. Show me how those signals were investigated. Show me the raw data wherever privacy permits. Show me the uncertainties. And when legitimate safety signals appear, Investigate them in daylight. Don't bury them. Don't ridicule the people asking questions. Don't redefine uncertainty as misinformation. Answer the damn question, because science doesn't require trust. Science earns trust, and it earns trust by exposing itself to scrutiny. Here's what I'd like Florida to do next. Don't merely remove mandates. Publish the evidence review. For every vaccine previously required for school or childcare, give parents a simple table. What disease are we preventing? How serious is the risk at this child's age? How effective is the vaccine? What safety trial supported licensure? What comparator was used? How long was follow-up? What adverse events have subsequently been identified? What remains uncertain? Put it all online. Let physicians examine it. Let epidemiologists examine it. Let parents examine it. Let vaccine advocates examine it. Let vaccine critics examine it. If the evidence is strong, it will survive scrutiny, and if it isn't, we need to know that too. For decades, the vaccine debate has been reduced to two competing slogans. One side says, safe and effective. The other says, my body, my choice. Neither is enough. I want something much more radical. I want evidence. I want informed consent worthy of the name. And I want government to understand one fundamental principle. You don't get to lower the evidentiary standard as you increase the coercion. It should work exactly the other way around. So, yes, Florida, defend parental rights, defend bodily autonomy, but don't stop there. Open the books, show us the trials, show us the comparators, show us the safety data, show us what you know, and show us what you don't. Because our children are not an abstraction. They're not a public health statistic. And post-marketing surveillance should never become a substitute for doing everything reasonably possible before exposure to understand the safety of a medical product intended for healthy children. The stronger the mandate, the stronger the evidence must be. And if you cannot meet that burden, you have no business compelling the product.